This is Musicably podcast. Welcome to the very first episode of Musicking for Wellbeing, the podcast from Musicably. I'm your host and musicking coach, Palo Beka. After 3 decades as a musicologist, journalist, and music industry executive, I have seen every side of the music world. But I've also realized that most of us are musicably malnourished. We have become passive listeners when we were born to be active participants and creators. My mission at Musicably is to help you reclaim your sonic sovereignty. Through simple techniques and short sonic resets, I will help overwhelmed professionals and longevity-focused adults regulate their nervous system, sharpen their focus, and restore a sense of inner balance. You don't need talent, you just need to be present. Let's start musicking. Did you see the news recently? The headlines were everywhere. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. stood behind a podium and did something we haven't seen in decades. He threw out the old playbook. He unveiled a new inverted food pyramid, a total reset for the American gut. He talked about ultra-processed foods, added sugars, and how we have been hacking our taste buds while our bodies actually starve for real nutrients. It was a call to arms for our physical health. But as I sat there watching the news, I realized we are living through an identical crisis that nobody is talking about, an invisible one. We are living through a period that I could call the Great Musical Malnutrition. Just like we have been fed food-like substances for 40 years, we are now being fed music-like substances. We are gorging ourselves on auditory sugar, those algorithm-optimized 15-second TikTok earworms and low-fidelity background loops. We have more music in our pockets than any king or queen in history, yet, according to every metric, we are lonelier than ever before, more anxious and depressed, more socially disconnected, experiencing epidemic rates of death of despair. How is that possible? How can we have infinite access to music and simultaneously be starving from what music actually provides? The answer is simple, and it mirrors exactly what happened with our food. We have replaced real nourishment with processed substitutes. Today, we are going to talk about why your Spotify habit might be the high fructose corn syrup of your soul, and why it's time to stop consuming and start cooking. Throughout my life, I've watched a slow, painful divorce happen right in front of us, and most people don't even know it's occurred. It started more than 400 years ago. Before that, music wasn't art you went to see. It was something you did. For thousands of years, long before Spotify or even written notation, musicking was as fundamental to human existence as eating or sleeping. It was how we bonded, celebrated, mourned, healed, and communicated. It was a biological tool, a primal language of the nervous system. Our ancestors didn't just listen to music, they lived it. If there was a wedding, a religious congregation, you sang. If there was a harvest, you drummed and danced. If there was a tragedy, you wailed in harmony. If there was work to coordinate, you sang work songs. If there was a baby to soothe, you hummed lullabies. There was no audience. There were only participants. Yes, there were specialists people who were particularly skilled at playing instruments or leading songs. But their specialization didn't exclude everyone else from participating. Musical experts existed, but so did universal musical participation. But then we got clever. We built concert halls, we created the virtuoso, the superstar performer, and we created the composer as individual genius. We invented complex musical notation that required years of training to read. Gradually, we told the average person, sit down, be quiet, listen to the professionals. Music began its transformation from a participatory practice into a spectator sport. We turned music from a process into a product. Then came the phonograph in 1877, and everything accelerated. For the first time in the human history, music could exist without musicians being present. You could own music, you could collect it, you could play it whenever you wanted. The benefits were real: preservation, access, education. But there was a hidden cost. Home music making collapsed. The parlor piano went silent. Family singing traditions dies out. Why sing together when you could put on a perfect recording? The music industry was born, and with it, a message. Real music requires talent. If you are not good enough, just listen. Fast forward to 2026. We have reached the logical end of that road. Music is now a utility. It's background noise for your gym session or your study hour. It's a mood hack. But here is the musicological truth. Your brain wasn't designed to just listen. Listening to music without making it is like watching a video of someone else eating a steak. It looks good. Your mouth might even water, but you aren't getting any protein. Your social brain is sitting there waiting for the nutrients of actual physical musicking, and all you are giving it is a digital ghost of a sound. Let's look at this through the lens of that new 2026 food pyramid. When you eat a piece of fruit, your body has to work. You chew. There is fiber. The sugar is released slowly. It's a metabolic process. Active musicking, humming, drumming on your desk, singing in the shower, or playing a simple flute is the whole food of the sound world. It requires your lungs, your vocal cords, and your rhythmic brain. It triggers a chemical cascade: oxytocin for trust, endorphins for pain relief, and dopamine for reward. But modern processed music is designed to bypass the work. The algorithms know exactly which chord progression will give you a tiny squirt of dopamine in the first 3 seconds so you don't hit skip. It's auditory high fructose corn syrup. It hacks your ears, it makes you feel a temporary high, but it leaves you empty. Think about the last time you felt truly full after a musical experience. Was it while you were scrolling through a playlist? Or was it that time you sang Happy Birthday in a room full of people and friends? Or that time you couldn't help but clap along at a street festival? The fullness comes from the sing. When we only listen alone, we are musically malnourished. We are missing the social protein that keeps our nervous systems regulated. We are starving in a world of infinite snacks. This is why I started Musicably, because I believe, no, I know, that music is a birthright, not a talent. If you can breathe, you can music. If you have a heartbeat, you have rhythm. The industry has spent a century convincing you that you aren't good enough to make music. They want you to believe that unless you can play like a pro, you should just stay a consumer. Why? Because consumers pay. Makers are free. Imagine if a company told you that you weren't talented enough to walk, so you should just buy a subscription to watch other people walk. You would think they were insane. Your legs would atrophy. You would lose your health. That is exactly what has happened to your musical legs. We have stopped using them, and now we are wondering why we feel so heavy and disconnected. But here is the good news. Just like you can fix your metabolic health by eating real food, you can fix your musical health by reclaiming your birthright. It doesn't take much. You don't need a conservatory degree. You just need to start cooking again. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Next week, we are going to travel back in time, way back, 60,000 years. I'm going to show you a piece of bone with 4 holes in it that changes everything we thought we knew about being human. We are going to look at the evidence that proves your voice was actually the very first medical device ever invented. We are going to find the birthright in your own biology. But for today, I have a challenge for you. I want you to find one processed sound in your life, maybe the playlist you always put on autoplay, and turn it off for 10 minutes. And in that silence, I want you to hum anything, a 3-note melody. Feel the vibration in your chest. That vibration is the whole food. That is the protein. Stop being a consumer. Start being a maker, a music maker. I'm Palo Beka, and this is Musicably. You can find more at my website, musicably.com. I will see you next week.